Welcome to the Oddity Shop, where the bizarre is always on sale.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Oddity Shop. This is the podcast where we tell you creepy, odd, weird, strange, bizarre stories from around the world. I'm your curator, Zach, sitting here with the other lovely, wonderful, gorgeous, stunning, amazing curator, Kara. How are you?
Holy crap. What did I do to get all that?
Nothing. You just made a different face or gesture every time I said a word, and I wanted to see how many moves you could pull out. While I'm talking, she's basically voguing. I wish y'all could see her.
Well, we can make it a clip.
We'll try.
Hey.
Hi, how are you? Oh, okay. Obviously, we're both all over the place. So I've got a few things to tell you this week. I've got a couple things that have been giving me life. Are you ready for the first one?
Yeah.
Have you heard of the Glasgow Willy Wonka experience?
No, but
okay.
It sounds miserable to me.
It wasn't supposed to be, but it was. It's so amazing. So somebody put on this like Willy Wonka interactive experience for kids in Glasgow, Scotland. But they hired these struggling actors and gave everyone this AI script and like gave them the script the day before. So they all showed up. Nobody knew what they were doing. They made up a fake new villain called the Unknown who just lives in the walls of the chocolate factory. That was terrifying the children. Then, like, at the end of it, they were supposed to get treats. They got half a cup of lemonade and one jelly bean each. And, like, this thing looked like there was, like, 10 decorations in this giant auditorium. And, like, the actors have been coming out on TikTok. I don't know. The best consensus I could find is they think the actor who played the villain may have been the one who orchestrated the whole thing. But it's hilarious. You guys, look it up on TikTok. Because there's so many little clips. There's like, the best one is like when they unleash the villain who literally just stands up behind a mirror. And the Willy Wonka guy's like, what is that? It's the Unknown. And you just hear these kids, no. Like a mom called the cops. She was so upset with it.
Horrifying.
It's horrifying. But it's hilarious.
Just like laughing.
Because it looks like they have a Oompa Loompa who's like supposed to be running like the chocolate lab. It looks like a meth lab. God. Oh, I'll send you some videos. You guys need to look it up, though. It is, I mean, it's almost episode worthy.
Holy moly. Okay. So, wow.
So that's one thing I have for you. The other thing I have, which you already obviously know, but I'm super excited about it, is we get to spend the whole weekend together.
We do.
Let's get ready because we're going to do some work. We're going to have some fun. I'm going to take you to a bunch of new places.
Yeah, we're going to do some things. Well, that's kind of what I have, is that I'm coming to see you.
Whoop, whoop.
Let me give you something bad since you gave me something kind of bad. There's a tornado here.
Yeah, I've been waiting for you to actually bring that up to me because after that storm rolled through,
here's the thing.
I saw a video of it. I'm like, there's no way that's real because I don't believe a tornado went through your town and you did not call me freaking out.
I went back to bed because what was I going to do?
Right.
It hit like a mile away. It was so fucking bad.
Yeah,
and we have a door wall in our bedroom, and the branches and shit were smacking so hard in the middle of the night, and the sirens were going off for hours and hours and hours. I'm like, Aaron's, like up and like panicking. Not really panicking, but worried.
He's just being like, even though he doesn't have a biological child, I'm sure he was just in like full dad tornado mode.
He was. And so he was like, I could see that he was like looking on his phone and like tracking or whatever. And I was like, I literally popped up. Me and Delilah popped up. I said, should we go into the basement? And he's like, I don't know. I said, then we're going back to bed. And then me and the little weenie rolled back over and we went back to bed.
Was it closer to like Deb's house? Because the video I saw looked like a street.
No, it was
just closer
to my house.
Oh, wow.
It was very, very close.
Yeah, I think I mentioned something to Mom. I'm like, yeah, she hasn't even mentioned anything, so it couldn't have been as bad as those videos. It's because here's the thing. It was really bad, but I'm sorry, it just didn't affect me. So I just kept rolling with my life. That's terrible. I know people are going to hate me for that, but like, what was I supposed to do? Nothing happened to me. I was good. So I woke up the next day and I went to work. I really thought we were going to get one here because it, like, you know, they always say it sounds like a freight train before a tornado, and
it was really bad.
It was just doing that forever.
Yeah, it was crazy.
All right, do you got a good thing?
My good thing is I get to see you.
Oh,
we already went on over that.
Yeah, that's right. Okay. Well, with all that being said, then what do you got for me?
Okay. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Ask me one more time if I'm ready.
I know. I gave you shit for it already, though, so.
I love it. Okay. If you were cursed and you could pass the curse off to someone else, would you do it? And but hey, you can't say, there's some stipulations. You can't say that you'd pass it to someone that you don't like or somebody that like deserves it. You know what I mean? So you can't be like, oh yeah, if they're a terrible person, they deserve it. I'll pass it off to them, or I just don't like them. So you can't say those two options.
So I can't just like pick anybody. It has to be somebody I like.
Well, not necessarily. It's just that maybe it's just like a random person that you have known nothing about.
My very quick absolutely is fading away. How bad is the curse?
I don't know. Pick.
Fuck it. I don't want to be cursed. I'm giving it away.
Oh my God, you're terrible. What if it had to be like the first person that you saw and it was like just like a little child, like a 4-year-old child? I know. Then
after our last like 3 or 4 episodes talking about how much we dislike kids, you really think that's?
I would never curse a child. You would. I would never.
What's the alternative? How bad is this curse? Can I live with the curse?
Yeah, that's what a curse is. You'll live with it.
I'm still giving it away. I don't want to be cursed.
I know.
All right. What curse story?
I like how you thought about it, but you were like, you're just lying to everybody. Like,
you know what? I might not be being very ethical right now, but at least I'm being honest.
Okay. Moving forward.
Okay. What do you got in the shop?
Let me continue on with my life.
I'm ready.
Growing up on Bayou, Tetra. It's like Kesha, but Tetra.
Okay.
I had to look up the pronunciation and then I wrote Kesha by it, so I figured that I would share that with you.
Thank you.
Okay. Deep in Cajun country, I've heard tales of the Rougarou monster many times.
Ooh.
According to those who claim a sighting, the Rougarou is a humanoid, wolf-like creature that prowls our small settlement, snatching pets for food and sometimes snatching people too. Story after story of the Rougarou being seen right before he runs deeper into the swamp to hide. Townspeople like to speculate if there could be more than one monster. Growing up in our tired little Bayou town, talk of the Rougarou was constant. I've heard all the tales, but always believed them to be nothing more than a fun story, something told to pass the time and make long days a bit more interesting. Simply a campfire story that's told deep in the swamps of the Louisiana by generations of Cajun French families. I know better now. I was a high school senior, nearing graduation when it happened. Few in town and even fewer in my bloodline have ever left the Bayou. The vast majority of those born here always die here. I longed for more, wanted out, and saw college as my ticket to freedom. Much to my family's dismay, I was accepted with a full ride at a state university 3 hours north. My hard work had finally paid off, and I started spending my days dreaming of a life and a future far away from the simple ways of the Bayou folk. I wish this was me. One lazy afternoon after school, the sun was starting to drop, and I was laying back in my... Okay, you have to tell me how to say this because I did look it up, but then I couldn't. It's like a canoe, a prologue.
Ooh, you got me on one I don't know.
Okay, it's Pirogue. And when I looked it up, it said it was like a longer version of a canoe. And I thought you would know.
I mean, usually I do know that kind of stuff. Maybe.
I know, that's why I thought you would. Okay, well, I'm going to say canoe.
Okay. better than me making up an explanation and passing it off is right. So
okay, so I was laying back in my canoe, a small flat-bottomed boat. I was staring at the clouds, listening to the chatter of the frogs, daydreaming while letting the slow bayou current push me downstream towards home. All of a sudden, I jumped up, startled out of my daze by a loud splash. I quickly looked at the water around the canoe, trying to find the telltale ripples that could indicate a gator was close by. I would pee my pants, but I like alligators.
I was going to say, I'd be kind of excited.
I know. Okay, gators often splash around our boats, but they're usually harmless. If we leave them be, they leave us be. Well, for the most part. But this time, I saw nothing but flat water. There didn't appear to be any gators nearby. Lots of creatures call swamp home, and I started to relax again, deciding it was probably just a snake dropping from a tree into the water in search of food. But then I heard a fast series of staccato splashes and turned around to find myself face to face with what could only be a rougarou.
What's it look like? What's it look like?
The water, chest high on me, came up to its hips. Just below its waist's arms were abnormally long, misshapen and hairy. But its face is what caused me to open my mouth to scream. Large, soulful black eyes tucked under hairy ears over a flat snout with large yellowed canine teeth hanging crooked out of its mouth. The rougarou's hair was colored the browns and reds of the swamp, from the muddy brown color of the bayou water to the dark reds of the cypress tree roots. Before the scream could leave my throat, the rougarou clamped its giant hand over my mouth and no sound escaped. It then pushed me to the floor of my canoe and pinned me down with its foot. I was terrified, certain that I was being snatched for its dinner.
Do you feel the most powerful and beautiful with the elements of the earth around you? Do you like one-of-a-kind jewelry? Do you sometimes feel like a woodland fairy? Me too. That's why I created Howling Hemlock, a magical shop filled with handmade wooden jewelry and metaphysical tools. Come check out our enchanting wooden wares at www.hollyhemlock.com and join us in honoring the magic and beauty of nature with each unique creation. That's www.hollyhemlock.com.
Real quick, are rougarous bipedal or are they on all fours?
Bipedal.
Oh, I've never looked at a picture of one. I've always just imagined they were on it. You know, a rougarou, it sounds like it would be on all fours.
I mean, I think it can be.
It makes the visual of like standing in water to its hips make a lot more sense. Okay.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Just as in the tales I've heard all my life, not gonna lie, I was scared out of my mind. I quickly pissed myself and began to shake and cry.
Whoa.
I really wish I could say I fought a violent fight that day, but that's not how it went down. I was unable to move, frozen with fear, couldn't even begin to fight back. As I lay there pinned down, I heard a familiar sound of my backpack's zipper being unzipped. Then I felt a shifting of weight as I heard the rougarous inhale deeply, one giant loud sniff. Most of my backpack's contents were then strewn around and inside the canoe, landing everywhere.
Was he looking for a vape?
My calculus textbook banged me squarely on the forehead, drawing blood. I heard a crinkling sound as the rougarou suddenly jumped up and leapt into the water with amazing speed and agility. Once it got out to the shore, it took off running into the distance, was quickly shrouded by the thick swamp vegetation, and was gone. I spent who knows how long just attempting to compose myself. I then rinsed my pants out with the bayou water, trying to wash away both the smell of urine and shame I felt in my cowardly reaction. I had finally stopped shaking and started repacking my backpack when I had realized there was only one item missing. The rougarou had taken only one thing.
Was it a vape?
My favorite study snack. The snack I was known for always having in my book bag. My extra large sharing-sized bag of M&Ms. It was gone.
Was it, are we sure it was the rougarou and not E.T.? Oh, no, wait, that's
E.T.
Reese's Pieces, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I was like, what are you talking
Okay.
about? Yeah, I think I think it's Reese's Pieces.
Maybe it's the piano player from Princess Diaries.
Why is
her
that
best
not
friend's
right?
little brother who like had M&Ms on there and then she gave him the M&M pizza. Never mind. Bad joke. Go on.
Oh, he did have them on the keyboard. The only thing that came to mind is when she wrote with the M&Ms on the pizza. I got
Right.
it. Yeah, I forgot the part. Okay. After I eventually calmed down and made it home after the sun had set. I let my dad holler at me for being late, and no one noticed the cut on my forehead. After that day, I gave up floating the bayou alone and never saw the rougarou again. I went on to graduate high school and moved away for college as I had planned. Getting out of the bayou has been everything I'd hoped for and more. I go back to visit family once per year, usually around the holidays. When I go home, I still hear the old rougarou tales being told, but now told to a new generation of Cajun kids. My family has never left the bayou to come visit me. but it's okay. I've come to understand some of the pull the swamp has on them. Aside from getting the story off my chest here, I've never shared what happened to me that day with a single person. Not one. I haven't added my Rougarou encounter to the infamous Bayou Rougarou lore, nor do I plan to. Some stories are best left untold, you know? That, and I never eat M&Ms anymore. I haven't eaten a single M&M since that day I shared my bag with the Rougarou.
Oh, that would be so sad.
They did have a username on Reddit, but I don't know if I'm going to share it only because they just said that they didn't want to be known, even though they shared it. So,
all right.
It's linked if you want to look. So, are you familiar with the Rougarou?
I am familiar with the Rougarou, but I've only ridden it before.
Rougarou, Rougarou, Rougarou.
Yeah, no, I've ridden the roller coaster, the Rougarou, but I've known of it as a cryptid, but I actually know really little about it. I will say so far, I really want some Cajun food.
Yes.
But
okay.
Hit me with them facts.
All right. The legend of the Rougarou has been part of like Cajun folklore for centuries, and it's said to have originated in French Canadian folklore. It kind of goes, you know how these types of things are. It's actually hard to figure. Cryptids are really hard to figure out where they come from sometimes.
It seems like the same thing is seen in many places, and it has like 18 different names. So
exactly that, and then it's like who saw it first, who talked about it first. I don't know. So. But they say that the folklore is brought to Louisiana by French settlers who migrated to the area. So here's the thing. I saw in the 16th century, the 17th century, the 18th century, and the 19th century. So we're just going to say between the 16th and the 19th century, just so nobody comes for me.
I will say, I've done some like history research in that like Louisiana, New Orleans area, and it is super hard because every source you look, like much of that history was passed down orally. So every source has like a different time or place or...
And I'm going to say that when I knew I've known I wanted to talk about the Rougarou for a while, but when I was doing research, it's like there's a lot, but very little because it's all kind of the same few little things. It's like, it's weird. Okay, so the name Rougarou is derivated from the French words loup-garou, which means werewolf. So a lot of people actually call it the loup-garou.
Okay.
So you could hear it Rougarou, loup-garou, which means werewolf. And if y'all know me, I love me a werewolf.
No.
And werewolves deserve their own episode, and we will get to it eventually. But we're here for the Rougarou. Okay?
Okay.
So the name might derive from the meaning of werewolf, but they aren't the same.
How are they different?
Yeah, the Roo, as I'm going to call it, because we're besties. That's my nickname.
You can't just be best friends with every cryptid you write about.
Yes, I can.
Okay.
Wait, I don't want to be, not everyone. There are some little creatures that get away from me. So the Roo is often described as muscular, hairy, often having just black or like really charcoal gray fur. They have long, sharp teeth and claws. And they also appear to have glowing eyes. Ooh. Which I will say, I don't know if people actually mean that they're glowing or like, you know, when you look at Delilah in the light at night and her eyes
I was just gonna, like,
glow red.
Cats and dogs. Yeah.
I think that might be more of what people see is like glowing red eyes like that. Cause like Delilah has little demon eyes in the dark
and not
too.
Like Mothman beams.
But I could be wrong. It's just said to have glowing eyes. So that's just what I personally think. So some say that they have the head of a wolf with the stature of a man, but other people say that they have more of like a human looking face with just like a long snout. So really kind of like a dog man.
I was going to say very dog man coded.
Yeah, that's kind of where we're at. Like where you're, so like you were just kind of saying we're bipedal, very muscular. So really looking kind of manly in the stature of like the body, I guess.
Sounds hot.
Right? I know. Really muscular. We like a muscular, aggressive man.
That likes M&Ms and snacking.
So fucking stupid. Okay. So in medieval France, they would blame various crimes on loup-garous. So like if your house got robbed, or your child went missing, anything really, they would just blame on this poor Rougarou.
Okay.
It had to be the Rougarou.
Makes sense.
If your spoon disappeared, you couldn't find that spoon, it's a fucking Rougarou.
I mean, who else could it possibly be?
Exactly. So here's where it gets where we always get as humanity dumb.
Oh, God.
This caused people to capture and accuse people of being a Rougarou. Basically, there were witch trials, but for cryptids. So anybody that did something even remotely weird or strange, you must be a fucking Rougarou, and then they were put to trial.
So is the Rougarou a shapeshifter, or is that just like during this time?
I'll kind of get into it, but yes, it is kind of like, it depends on what lore you go off of, but yes, I would say it is definitely a shapeshifter.
Okay.
It wasn't common for anyone to argue that the accused wasn't a Rougarou, for they obviously feared of being accused themselves. So like, just like in the witch trials, like you're not going to defend anybody because you're probably going to then get accused yourself.
Got it.
Everybody was a fucking Rougarou if you were weird, and then you just died.
Sounds like a great time to live in France.
Jesus Christ. It was also, like we commonly hear, children were also told to behave. And if they didn't, a Rougarou would come in the middle of the night and snatch them up.
This seems fitting.
Yeah, I would probably tell my kid that. So in France around the 16th century, this is when a Rougarou is more of almost a genetic disorder. And this is the version that I was always familiar with. Essentially, the Rougarou would live a normal human life until some of that event would trigger the condition. So you're totally fine. Maybe something horrific happens to you, or something triggers whatever the chemicals are, clicks you, and then all of a sudden you are you're like caused to have a deep craving for meat.
Ooh.
Like human meat.
Ooh.
So once they get their first bite of human flesh, then the full transformation becomes complete, and then you're a Rougarou.
Okay. So it's like half zombie, half werewolf.
Yeah, but you could also just not eat a human, and then you would never fully be a Rougarou.
I mean, that seems like the easy way out.
Yeah, just, fight that addiction of the feeling to eat people. Anyway.
I mean, it's, I've fought that addiction very well for 31 years at this point, so.
You've wanted to eat people?
Well, no, I'm just saying, I was going to say I've like fought it off because I just haven't felt it. Okay.
All right, moving on.
So I'm definitely not a Rougarou, that's all I'm saying.
You know what's in my head right now? Kesha Cannibal.
No.
I'm not even going to start it. Okay.
Oh, it's already in my head.
Cajun country legend is when we kind of switched to Roo and not Loop, so we're full Rougarou. But so in the swamps of New Orleans is where the Rougarou is said to live. So this legend says that the creature hunts down Catholics that don't follow the rules of Lent.
Seems like another Catholic way to make you feel guilty.
Right. Absolutely.
If you're not going to actually feel guilt, you're going to get eaten. So
by a Rougarou. Or just like turned. I don't know if it would eat you or just turn you. So another version is that the Rougarou is under 101-day curse.
Okay.
Their curse usually comes from a local witch, sometimes a voodoo priestess. And after the 101 days, the affected person can transfer the curse to another human being by drawing their blood, which kind of makes people think that they're more of like a vampire-esque creature. So during the day, the creature then returns back to human form. So you've bit your person, drew blood, you come back to human form, and then you're often just feeling like very sick, but you are not going to reveal to others what happened because, you don't want people to know that you are a Rougarou and they'll kill you.
I wonder do we know why 100 days, or is that just kind of...
I have no clue. I couldn't find anything. No, it's 101.
Okay, 101. Got it.
Okay. But some versions say that even looking one in the eye can transform you into one.
Oh, Lord.
So, I don't know.
Oh, excuse me.
So basically, you either have just this creature that is around to, I guess, kill Catholics if they don't follow the rules of Lent, eat children if they misbehave, something to blame all of just the bad things that humans normally do, like robbing your house and stealing your children on.
And losing your spoon.
Yeah, it could just be a creature or person that was cursed that was turned into this. So we have all these different types of reasons, I guess you could say.
I guess
what do you think you're leaning with?
Before I answer that, do they go between human and Rougarou? So like if you're a Rougarou, are you always in Roo form?
So some people say, this is where it gets like so crazy. So some say that like that 101 day thing, There were some things that were saying that you are a Rougarou fully for 101 days. And then after the 101 days, that's when you can transfer it and then you become your human form. But then some were saying basically like during the night you transformed and then during the day you were just a person. So it's kind of one of those things, like it just really depends on which one you go with, like what you think. I don't know. I was always I always thought that it was more of like a, what was it? Like a medical condition, not like a condition or whatever. Like it's just like a disease. If you trigger it, then
what is it? For werewolves, lycanthropy?
Yeah, I don't know. But okay, so what I was told is that once it's triggered, then you go back and forth.
Okay.
Like you can be a person, but then you can shift into a Rougarou. So I guess that's just like, it's one of those things where I was like, damn, no one has a clear...
Well, I'll say this. Knowing the voodoo culture of New Orleans and the spitefulness of the French, I am going to go and say that it's a curse.
Yeah.
Based off of those two things alone.
And then also, though, you could say that, yeah, it's a curse, and then you could still go back and forth.
Oh, I thought you were just asking me where it starts. Sure.
No. I meant like you could go, like you could be a Rougarou and then go back to human. Like you could shapeshift back and forth.
I mean, it kind of seemed that way, especially like that first story, right? Like a very human mannerism to search out just the M&Ms. So
what's in the backpack? Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I can't not give you rational reasons for werewolf mania, even if I don't believe in it. So here are some medical reasons.
You're saying you don't believe in werewolves, or you don't believe in not werewolves?
I don't believe in not werewolves.
Okay. That's what I thought.
So here are some medical reasons one might think you are a Rougarou. Okay. Lycanthropy.
Hey, that's what I just said.
Yeah. Which is a rare psychological condition that causes people to believe they're changing into a wolf or other animal. Food poisoning. I don't know why that's on here.
Okay.
Hypotrichosis, I think is how you say it. A rare genetic disorder causing excessive hair growth.
Got it. That one tracks.
Rabies.
Yeah. Yep.
Hallucination, possibly caused by hallucinogenic herbs.
Okay.
Acid. I just added that one. That wasn't on the list. But I think that would make maybe one person think you're a Rougarou.
I mean, hey, if people were eating people's faces on bath salts, I could see it.
Okay, so knowing that that's all bullshit, here's what you can do. Here's what you can do, though, if you come across a Rougarou.
Ooh, all right.
Okay, keep a piece of silver on you. That's supposed to kind of be protection.
We need to start a Oddity Shop cryptid survival guide.
Or like a kit.
Yes, like how to survive all the cryptids. Okay, coming soon. Cryptids. Coming soon, guys. But all right. Hit me.
Okay. So you can keep a piece of silver on you.
Okay.
It's said that you can protect yourself against the Rougarou by laying 13 small objects by your doors or windowsill. Or if you just like let's just say you have like a bunch of change in your pocket, just fucking throw it at them. Because apparently when a person changes into a Rougarou, they forget how to count past 12.
Oh, that's very specific.
I saw that, or they just have to count it. Like it's not necessarily that they can't count past 12. They just have to count whatever's in front of them. I don't know. It can go both ways. But the Rougarou will see 13 objects and try to count them, and it'll be unable to count them all. And then because of its confusion, it'll continuously try to count all 13. So then you have time to escape.
What's the other thing that's like that? It's an Appalachian spirit. It is. Because you're supposed to put the broom over your door because it'll get distracted trying to count all the bristles.
Count the bristles. Yeah. You know, it's so funny because when I was writing this, I was like, what is that? And I didn't look it up. So I know you're going to do it for us right now.
I got you. Maybe.
Oh, no.
Well, it just says to keep ghosts and spirits out of the house. I know it's a certain type of spirit, though.
I thought it was, too.
It, like, gets really distracted by counting.
Yeah, it's just the same concept. So even that's why they say if you have anything in your pocket, like change in your pocket, just fucking chuck it at them.
All right, so don't make it rain, make it hail. Got it.
Yes. They might possibly have a fear of frogs, so just throw a frog at its face, which I don't want to hurt frogs. I don't know why they're afraid of frogs. They live in the bayou. Yeah. Why would they be afraid of frogs?
Feel like there's probably a lot of frogs around.
Did I ever tell you about this story?
Oh, no.
Okay, this is so funny. Maybe I'll try to find the picture. It's a terrible picture of me, but maybe I'll try to find the picture, put it in here. Okay, so Aaron and I were in Florida, and it had just stormed. Like, you know, one of those Florida storms. We're out on the beach and we're at a beach bar, you know, so we're like sitting outside on the bar or whatever. And this frog, because all the animals are all out, you know, because it's just been pouring. And this frog was sitting on the bar and he was the cutest fucking little frog. And I was like, oh my God, I want this frog. So I picked him up and I'm holding him in my hand and I'm like, you know, cupping it in my hand. And I'm like, Aaron, take a picture of me. And Aaron's like, get that thing away from me. I'm like, just take a fucking picture of me. So he takes a picture of me. And as he's doing it, the fucking frog jumps on his face. And he swats the fucking frog, though. And it goes shooting across the bar. And I screamed because I thought he killed the frog. The bartender's like, what the absolute hell? And Aaron's like, I told you to get that goddamn thing away from me. I found the frog. He was okay.
Good. Is Aaron afraid of frogs?
He's afraid of frogs jumping in his face.
I love frogs.
I know, they're so cute. So I have this cute little picture of the frog. I put him on my shoulder, and then I got a cute picture of him on my shoulder. Because Aaron would not come close to this thing. And then, oh wait, this is even funnier. Then I found this cute little frog, like this porcelain frog. And I bought it for him for his ornament for Christmas that year.
I'm sure he loved that.
He did not. Okay. So anyway, throw a frog.
Throw a frog.
If you
got
have
it.
one.
Every cryptid kit from the Oddity Shop comes with one live frog.
Oh. Okay, well... Everyone knows that a circle of salt solves everything, and a rougarou will burst into flames from salt. Oh. So you could just have salt, and then I guess you don't need any of the other stuff.
Burning pillars of salt in Sodom and Gomorrah in the Bible? The Catholics really locked onto this one, I feel like.
I have no idea. I'm going to take your word for it.
Okay. I can't remember if they were burning, but there was definitely pillars of salt.
Okay, pillars of salt. Okay, so basically... Depending on what version, anyone can be a rougarou, and you wouldn't even know it.
You could be a rougarou, and I wouldn't even know it.
Well, yeah, I was going to say, I wonder if you know you're a rougarou, but yeah, you do, because that's why you want to get rid of the curse. And if you shapeshift, you would know.
Oh my God, Aaron and his like aversion to any body hair, he would hate you.
Yeah, but also, I have read like stories and stuff that people don't know that they switch into a rougarou. Okay, would you want to know or not know if you were one?
I'd want to know. If I was getting up to crazy shit and trying to eat humans at night, yeah, I'd want to know so I could lock myself up.
Yeah, because you would feel so guilty and so bad, but yeah.
I'd have to like put 10 frogs outside my door every night just to keep me in.
It'd be like Oz and Buffy when he has to just like cage himself up in the library.
Oh, yeah, I would definitely want to know though. Do some damage control.
Yeah, I think I would want to know too, just so that you could, like you said, make some, what is it? What?
Damage control, precautions.
You're
doing amazing, sweetie.
So thank you. So that's really all I have on the rougarou, because like I said, I thought there was going to be so much more, and I searched for more encounters, and there really are not any. There are. Like, people say that they see them, but they're not, like, stories like that.
Not, like, very detailed.
Yeah, and so that one I thought was just, like, really... I mean, it was just, like, a good story, whether we believe it or not. I believe everybody. I think that was real, because I would not write that I pissed myself.
I think that the creature itself is probably real, right? Especially when you're mixing in that Louisianan culture of storytelling. There's probably so many things that get blown out of proportion of how it happens or whatnot. Yeah. I am almost on the boat, like, where we call it the North Michigan Dogman, but it's been seen all over the Midwest in every state. Like, is this some sort of just creature that is in existence in North America and we just don't know about it? You know what I mean? And then every culture starts to call it something a little bit different. Sure.
That's 100% what I was going to say, is that it is a werewolf, a dogman, the rougarou. Like, it's all, you know.
Have you ever ridden the rougarou?
No, I don't think I have. Isn't it newer?
Yeah, it's newer. It's built on the track that the Mantis used to be at Cedar Point, and the Mantis
that was my favorite one.
No.
Is that the one where you stood up?
Yes.
My favorite one.
Okay, let me tell you about the first time I rode the Mantis then.
I think you've told us, but tell us again.
I may have actually said it on the podcast. I think I did at one point for some reason.
I think
I was a little bit too short to ride the Mantis. And it was a stand-up, but it kind of had almost like a bike seat on it.
Yeah.
When you're a little bit too short, it just crushed my right nut the whole time to where I blacked, like my vision went black as I went over the hill. But now that it's the rougarou, it's not a stand-up thing anymore. So it's much more comfortable and way more fun. But fuck the Mantis.
This is why you don't lie about your height.
I didn't lie. They just probably shouldn't have let me on. Like, I think I hit the height mark, but like, I've always been like
on your tippy toes to try to get
No,
in?
I'm just like, I'm as much torso as I am leg. I probably needed like a little bit more leg.
Oh my God.
Anyway.
Okay, well, that was the Rougarou.
Very good job.
If I met one, like this would be my dream. I meet one, and then I would hope that by meeting them, it doesn't mean that the curse gets passed to me. Like, I want to join the pack. Like, I want there to be a pack that we all ride at dawn. You know what I mean? Like, I want the community of Rougarous. I want to be a part of that.
So you don't want to just get Rougarou. You want them to share it with you? Like,
well, like, if we're going off of, like, I don't want it to be like I meet a Rougarou and he bites me or they bite me to then be human again. No, I don't want to be a Rougarou alone. I want to have a gang.
Okay, what are you going to do with your unstoppable flesh?
Okay, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to have my Rougarou gang. I'll get back to you guys. Yeah, I'll get back to you guys on the gang name. Yeah, it's got to be something. Rougarou gang. Something.
The Roo gang.
Something. Sure. And then what we do is we're like vigilantes, and then we just fucking kill those that deserve to be killed.
So you're like a Rougarou Batman?
Sure.
Do you have a Roo cave? What does the Roo mobile look like?
Bayou.
Okay.
It's a canoe. What is that canoe called?
A piog?
Piog. Piog. Yeah. Okay.
No, we're just being careful.
Listen. Yeah, I have a gang of Rougarous in a fucking canoe, and we.
First of all, how many people do you think you can fit in a canoe, let alone 9 foot tall Rougarous?
Okay, I want like a Viking ship.
Okay.
Thing. What are the Viking things called?
A sailboat?
It's not a sailboat. Vikings are not a sailboat. A sailboat?
They are called a long ship. Is that right? I looked at, okay, long ship. Yeah, I looked it up and the thing that it said just said cargo vessel, but I'm like, I saw a picture of it. I'm like, that's a long ship. And yes, it is.
I want a long ship.
Okay.
Full of Rougarous for my gang.
I want somebody to explain to me why there's so many needless J's and K's in all Viking language.
All right, well, that's my dream.
All right, well, Kara's going to start a Rougarou gang. She would like the curse. So if you or anybody you know is or was or can get access to the Rougarou,
contact with the Rougarou.
Yes, please do. She wants
give me gang names.
She wants to also hang out with you. So if you need Rougarou friends, you know, you got one who's ready and willing.
Gang.
Oh my God. All right. Good job. Another cryptid in the book. Stay tuned, like we said, for the Oddity Shop Cryptid Survival Kit. And that's all I've got for you. What do you got, Kara? Anything else?
I gotta go.
Perfect.
All right. Well, we appreciate and love you all. Thank you so much for being here for the chaoticness of my gang talk. Love you. Goodbye. Do everything that we normally tell you. Most importantly, creep it real, yeah, balls.
Goodbye.
Bye.